Alright, guys, welcome back to yet another DOA 6 breakdown. So, remember what I said last time? Yeah, never mind. Fuck me, right? So yeah, a lot of information on the game has popped up yet again. This time I kind of wanted to just like chill and lay low a little bit, just kind of waiting until like I got a pretty good chunk of information, new information, and that's pretty much what we're going to go over today. There's a lot of stuff to go over, but hopefully now I think now things will actually start to calm down. But I say that, and like just tomorrow something else could pop up out of nowhere, but we'll see. So anyway, we're just gonna get right into it. Alright, so we're gonna be looking at some written articles yet again. There's a few of these that popped up from different sources. We're going to first be looking at a 4Gamer article that popped up a while ago. It talks about some general stuff that we've already gone over, just kind of retracing. Again, 2 of these articles are going to be in other languages, so bear that in mind. But yeah, so we're going to be looking at a few extracts of those articles, the stuff that it's really interesting, that is new. See here, so yeah, the first one, we theorized in the previous videos about what graphical engine the game was actually going to run on. I thought it was going to be the DOA X3, DOA Extreme 3 engine, which that wasn't the case. The game is not even going to use the DOA 5 engine, like the soft engine, none of that stuff. We talked about that in one of the past videos. So here it says, and this is an interview with Shimbori himself. It says, in DOA 6 we decided to adopt a new technique of true Sangoku Musou A generation. For convenience refers to the new KT engine in this article. So this is referring to Sangoku Musou, is actually the Japanese name for the Dynasty Warrior series. So this is talking about DOA 6 basically using the Dynasty Warriors 9 engine. Now immediately this brings out a few thoughts, just without beating around the bush. Dynasty Warriors 9 was not a good game. It was pretty bad, all things considered. But this is stipulating that the game is not going to be using any assets of that game. It's just going to be using the graphical engine, which admittedly was pretty good. So yeah, for graphics engine, and it also says the new Koei Tecmo engine, so that's pretty interesting, that or the games are going to be running on that specifically, because new KT engine is designed to be used in the Musou games. It was also part difficult, conform to fighting the 2 main characters in a rich of a fighting game. Yeah, whatever. To overcome this with the cooperation of the engine team and DOA 6 development team. That's the engine changes, fundamental art production, and other pipelines. Yeah, just basically this article talks about a lot about like the art style and like the different types of animation systems that we're going to be using. Nothing really too interesting, I guess. But it does say, like, it does tell us what graphical engine the game is going to be running on, so that's pretty cool. So that was actually a little afterwards in the interview. One of the first opening statements here is, first of all, I asked frankly about the development situation of DOA 6, and development is ongoing. The degree of progress is still 8%, so let's just stop right there. A few different sources have actually said that this number actually goes about 10%, that the game is essentially 10% done right now. But all things considered, that's still an amazingly low number. Like, all the complaints, all the worries that people are having right now, I get it. It is precedented, you have your right to have your opinion and all that, but the 10%, like, come on, you guys. So that is pretty big. That is a very big, like, just to throw out that type of number, like, yeah, they have the reasons for doing that. So yeah, the game being at such an early stage and still looking like a semi-decent product, it tells a lot about how they actually handled all this. And Jesus Christ, 10%, and already like we have that much already. Like Jesus, the final game is gonna be it has potential of being one of the best DOA games in a long time. So yeah, that is pretty big. That is actually it for the 4Gamer article. There's more stuff there, but it's either not very interesting or something that we've already gone over in a previous video. So now we're gonna go over into another article, and this is actually a Taiwanese article that popped up a while ago from a site named GNN Gamer. So this is also I believe it's an interview with Shimbori. Nothing really new here, but there is one thing that jumps up and is pretty interesting to see here. So characters will be played, for example, how many old characters are included and how many new characters will appear. It's a pity it's not open at this stage. Only told, I don't understand what that means. But that we will publish 2 new characters, a man and a woman, after the information will be formally made public. Please also look forward to it. So that, again, that's pretty huge confirmation that the amount of actual new characters that we're getting for DOA 6 is only 2, and it's going to be a guy or a girl. So again, this is basically repeating the story of DOA 5, how we got Mila and Rig for the base roster. That, however, is still yet to be confirmed. Like, it's gonna be the same, like we're gonna have those 2 new characters by release, or if they're gonna come out much later. But that is pretty big confirmations. Like if the base roster doesn't include characters like Neo Tengu and Raido and all those characters, like, yeah, that already means that it's goodbye for those characters. They don't really have a chance of coming back if this is actually true. But who knows, maybe they could add more characters after these 2, but so far this is confirmation. This is the only confirmation that we have on new characters and stuff like that. And lastly, for the written articles, we have an article on another news site by the name of WCCF. And this was actually an interview made by someone in the community that actually asked players for questions that they wanted to have answered by Shimbori and the staff at E3. So that's pretty cool. I myself asked some questions. So in the subject of characters, you have here, as far as characters that might be fighters, do you have any future plans for collaborations? One character that players have been asking for in a fighting game for years now is Kasumi Kiryu from the Yakuza series. Yeah, you might have guessed who asked that one. But yeah, not at this moment, but maybe in the future we're looking for someone to collaborate with. If Kiryu's not as interested in coming to punch our faces, might be fun to have him. Yes, dude, we need to push this the most that we can. Kiryu has to be in this game. I believe it can be done. But yeah, one last follow up on that question. Do you see the returning Virtua Fighter or new characters in that roster make their way into DOA 6? For DOA 6, we want to create the story with only dead or alive characters, differently from DOA 5. Right now, we are placing all new characters in DOA 6 and not anyone from Virtua Fighter at this point. Maybe later, but I do not want to commit myself at this point. So again, we already kind of talked about this before. It sucks for the Virtua Fighter mains and those who like those characters, but I have pretty high hopes that they will eventually return. But it's cool that they're just not putting them for like basically no reason. So how would you feel about a dead or alive character such as Hayabusa or Kasumi joining the Tekken 7 roster for season 2? Personally, I hope that Harada-san is interesting in Union, but I cannot say anything on that. It depends on him. So again, pretty hard hitters here. But yeah, he's not entirely discrediting the possibility. I don't remember who asked this, but it's a possibility. Who knows? It'd be weird seeing a DOA or a TE or vice versa, a DOA character in Tekken. But who knows, man? I mean, it's still so early for all these things, but it's pretty cool that we have some sort of direct input on these types of questions. So that was actually it for the written articles. I kind of go into some new stuff. Now we're gonna go into some videos, some showcases. The first one is going to be a little bit different. We have a stream here that was actually held by a player that goes by the name of Chosen One. Now, for those in the community, you might have recognized him just by that name, but Chosen One is someone that hasn't been at all in the community for a while. But you know, DOA 6 is a new DOA game. All these old school players are of course gonna resurface, but he held a stream on site at the small station that Koei Tecmo had for DOA 6 at E3, and he basically went over some stuff with Master himself, who was there with him. So they go over some pretty interesting stuff. So we're gonna take a look at some of the major points. This is like 44 minutes or some shit like that, but there is definitely some stuff that needs to be talked about here. So let's listen to the first thing that caught my attention.
So one notice that is important for you guys to know is the first time for ever and ever DOA is like the more you stun, the less the launch. So like that automatically means you go right into launch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you heard me right too. The more you stun, the lower the launch. So
actually, after that statement, I think it was like a day later or a few days later, he actually corrected himself and said that it's not exactly the way that he said in this stream. It's not that you actually get less height the more you stun the opponent. It's actually that the critical stun system as we know it now, where you have level 1, level 2, and level 3 stuns, that might be getting reworked and might be going to a standard of just level 1 and level 2. What this means, and what he basically stated, correcting himself, is that after you get 2 hits in your stun, that's it. The critical stun level is not going up anymore after that. So no matter how far you take the opponent into stun, you're not going to get more height from that, which again is not exactly like he said it. You're not getting less of a launch for stunning more. It's just that the threshold at which you have to get more height is being reduced. So again, that's pretty big. That's a huge gameplay change, but it does emphasize on what we talked about on a previous video, which was the meta that this game is kind of taking is definitely going to be more old school DOA, where it was just like stun launch. So that's pretty interesting, but again, we've yet to see like further details into this. But now let's look at the second thing that definitely caught my attention.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
But that's like, again, early. It's always early. Don't get don't be like, oh my god.
Well, Howard Duck.
So as you saw right there, it seems that we're also getting a new type of combo extension mechanic for the game. So this is a question that I also had. It's like we already have all these different like states and different types of properties that moves can give you, and I was thinking like, what is going to happen to the bounding moves that are going to be in the game? Is it going to be the same property? Well, from what it looks like in this game, that's going to get a little crazy, because those are actually going to be able to basically relaunch into different types of follow-ups even after the opponent has already been launched. So like you see right there, when you do 4 KKP with Jan Lee, it's a different type of property on the last hit, whether you're just standing or you've already been launched. But it seems that that difference is gone now. Like, you're actually going to be able to get the follow-up as if you were grounded, even if you were launched. So that's pretty crazy, because I think every character might be able to take advantage of that. And it's like, you're extending your own combo, you know what I mean, without any type of external like interaction from the stage or anything like that. So that is definitely a really cool mechanic. Like it's gonna really open up the combo structure, and like for optimizing shit, like you're gonna get ground game for that, like as you saw right there Master did. So yeah, I really like that change. So let's see if that is actually like permanent, or if it was like a mistake or something. But yeah, that was definitely really interesting.
So many, he's been saying it all day.
Yeah, but you have to also remember that the fatal rush does not continue like regular stuff. Like this is the regular combo string.
Right.
You can continue it like that.
Right.
A fatal rush does not function that way.
No, you have to complete it.
It has to land. If it whiffs, it doesn't.
Yeah. So the first hit, right.
Yeah.
Right. So the first hit has to land for the string to open up and activate.
Yeah.
So lastly, you see right there, this is something that has been already talked about a lot in the community, and it is confirmation that yes, indeed, if you block the first hit, or if it whiffs of the fatal rush, the entire string does not continue. So that is pretty good, because you know, we saw that in one of the first videos, and we were wondering if it was actually going to be that way, and it does appear so you block that, yeah, depending on how bad that is on block, you're pretty much dead. So, or on whiff too, like you're gonna be able to whiff punish that very easily. So again, I don't feel that right now in the current build and the new mechanics that fatal rush is really that big of a deal. I think they're implementing pretty well. I think there is some inconsistencies with the break blow though. For one, the only mechanic so far that I don't like that they've introduced is your fatal rush automatically becoming a break blow when you have the meter. Like that's a little too much. That's a little excessive for it being guaranteed in certain situations. So yeah, in my opinion, that definitely has to go, or has to scale geez. But yeah, so that is going to be it for this stream from Chosen One. So for the last piece of media, we're actually going to be looking at popular fighting game YouTuber Maximilian Dude, who a few days ago actually talked about DOA 6 and had some hands-on time with the game. He seems to be liking it so far. You know, it's pretty cool that DOA 6 is getting that kind of exposure. It's a pretty cool video. I suggest you guys watch it. But you know, in the mindset of an actual DOA player, is like you're looking for the little details and stuff like that. And in this particular video, from the gameplay that he captured, you notice something pretty interesting that caused a few waves in the competitive community. So let's just very quick take a look at that.
So yeah, all the sweaty aspects of the previous games is still there.
But I mean, like, we're talking like we saw the game, and
so yeah, those keen eye players will notice that there was a pretty interesting exchange there. So if we break it down, Hayabusa initiates a regular stun just like normal, and then goes into his fatal rush. Fatal rush. And then what happens is that Hayate is actually able to hold the second follow-up to it. Now, immediately a lot of people attributed this to being a bug, like you actually being able to do that is a bug, but there is a slight chance that utilizing fatal rush outside of a general like neutral situation might break the rules of the fatal rush itself. So what that would mean is that if you use a fatal rush in an already existing stun, like just a regular stun, the unholdable properties of the fatal rush might be gone, and that's a pretty good estimation of how the string would be balanced, because yes, you get a regular like good stun from a counter hit or whatever, and then you go into it and it's guaranteed, right? So that'd be pretty busted. But if that's the way it works, then that's pretty good. And again, you can easily react to it. The only real threat that would exist there is, you know, you have the option to stop it midway and bait the hold. But again, that would be kind of going more into the meta of the guess and all that. So that was something pretty interesting that I think pretty much everyone that watched this video noticed. But yeah, we'll actually have to see how it develops, and if that is actually like meant to be, or if it was indeed a bug. So that is going to be it for this time, guys. Again, maybe now things will actually calm down in terms of information and all that, maybe not. But yeah, for now we'll just have to wait until anything else that resurfaces. I still think DOA 6 is heading in the right direction, and with the current state of the game, they have enough time and enough resources and feedback to iron out all the bad parts that it has so far. But yeah, I'm really liking it so far. We'll see how it develops further along the line, and again, we might have to wait until Evo for that, but you know, I think we have enough with all that has resurfaced and all we've gotten so far. But for this time, that's going to be it. Again, thank you all for watching, those that actually watched the video until the very end. It is very highly appreciated. But yeah, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.